FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
But tonight we're not debating should the Games be stopped. The answer to that is no. We're not debating should our athletes boycott the Games. My answer to that, like the Dalai Lama, is no. The question before us is China, that is the dictatorship, the communist bosses in Beijing, fit to hold the Olympics? Are not fit to hold the Olympics? And the answer to that is yes, they are not fit to hold the Olympics. Let us look at the Olympic Charter, ladies and gentlemen. It says that the government of the country of any applicant city to host the Games must undertake and guarantee that the country and its public authorities will comply with and respect the Olympic Charter. Let me go, well, it says amongst other things, the practice of sport is a human right, that charter says. I ask, where will the Tibetan team be on opening ceremony day in Beijing in August? Point 5 of the principles of Olympism is this: any form of discrimination with regard to a country of a person on grounds of race, religion, politics, gender or otherwise is incompatible with belonging to the Olympic movement, is not fit for the Olympic movement. And when we look at the role of the Chinese dictatorship in upholding the Olympic Charter, we find they have broken that law. When we look at the International Covenant on Human and Political Rights, the international law, they repeatedly break it. And when we look at whether they are upholders of laws generally held around the world to be part of the requirements for fair go, including democracy, freedom of speech and religious tolerance, those who signed the agreement for the Olympic Games in Beijing repeatedly break the law. Now I ask you to just look at the Australian Constitution. It points out and makes law that if you are breaking the law or have broken the law, you are not a fit person to be in the Australian Parliament. I use that simple logic from the Australian Constitution to say that those who are breaking international laws and intend to go on doing it in Beijing are not fit to be holding the Olympic Games. It will be them who will be in the limelight. It will be them who will be taking the kudos and the glory. It will not be the Chinese people who will be having a free say or ever had a free say in the processes of upholding the Olympic Charter, which they promised to uphold back in 2001. And by the way, let's look at those cities which were ranked behind Beijing. Let's look at the good options, because they were Osaka, they were democratic Paris, it was in Istanbul, where other political parties are allowed, and there was Toronto. And it was judged by the technical committees that Toronto and Paris, at least, were technically superior to Beijing. But Beijing got the Games. It was an exercise in sheer political power winning out.